New York, New York, all the Empire State politics you need to know in just a few New York minutes. And on the Democratic side here, Richard Brodsky, former Assemblyman, senior fellow at Demos, professor at NYU. And on the Republican side, John Cahill, former chief of staff to Governor Pataki, former commissioner of New York State's Department of Environmental Conservation. All right, guys. First issue, the governor responding after a spate of corruption scandals in Albany says, New Yorkers, you can sleep better, appoint a Moreland commission. Give me, Richard, first the backstory, what this is, what it really can do, and how it's a little bit different than the governor originally imagined.
Well, it's much different, and it morphed into something actually quite good, but it was originally intended as political punishment for failure to adopt his idea of good legislation. That's not an acceptable reason to do something. But he also changed his position on what the composition would be. Without getting into too much lawyer stuff, if he had just appointed a Moreland Act commission, it would have failed. What he did is brought the Attorney General in, a guy who was not his political ally, shared power, deputized all the commission members as assistant attorneys general, and the net result is he's going to be able to look at the big problem in Albany, which is not the idiot thievery, it's the legal corruption, the transfers of huge money, amounts of money to governors, legislative committees, controllers, attorneys general, in exchange for outcomes. That's a good thing. I don't want to say he was lucky because he showed flexibility, but it wasn't what he originally talked about.
It's not going to be the aim of this commission, am I right here, John, what the general public might think it is, which is they're going to be looking, as he said, at the idiot crooks or the people that may or may not be caught on wires trying to buy influence. What they're going to be focusing on, though, is he right that this is really important, just as important as the stupidity?
Yeah, I think it's, looking at the big picture of corruption in Albany, I think is an appropriate place to start. I wouldn't be surprised if it leads to some of that, if you would, more detailed stupidity in Albany, keeping in mind that it doesn't have the power to bring criminal action, but certainly can refer. But I really do think, I agree with Richard on this, that the commission as it's established with the deputizing of the AGs in this process can really brings a hope for change and for some transparency in Albany and to address the political corruption at the highest level.
But go careful, John. The issue is the legal corruption, not just the stuff that's already criminal.
But that's true. I mean, there's the legal corruption, but there's also the political corruption, Richard. That is maybe, the idea of money passing through not-for-profits, okay? And that is a corrupted issue in Albany. And if we get to those issues and some clarity and transparency, there's real hope of change in Albany through this process.